What's your name?
Shawn Cole.
Shawn, what did you see?
Just saw two planes. The three planes were doing their act. Two planes collided and two big fireballs fell to the ground and the crowd went hush.
Did you think it was part of the show?
Initially, once I saw it happen, I walked over, and then once I saw a couple emergency response people walk by or run up, I kind of figured that it wasn't. So I asked immediately to see if it was part of the show, and people said no, that was real.
Almost 31 years ago, my next guest this morning made history when he became one of the first human beings to ever walk on the moon. It's Buzz Aldrin. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dan.
What do you think of when you look up at the moon?
Well, I think that I've been there, done that.
Peter C. Newman has been writing about Canadian politics for nearly half a century. His book, The Secret Mulrooney Tapes, Unguarded Confessions of a Prime Minister, is available in stores now. Will the day come when you call Mr. Mulrooney and say, can we put this under the bridge, let's have lunch, or...
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
Do you think he would take that call?
Yeah. I as long as I don't tape it. Just kidding.
Tell me something about Princess Diana that you know that maybe nobody else knows.
Well, I suppose the thing that springs to mind is how much of a sense of humor she had. We're very used to seeing pictures of Diana as being a very compassionate person, which of course she was, or a very regal person, because she was that too. But what we don't have pictures of so much are the behind-the-scenes shots of Diana having a very good laugh, either at something funny that had happened or quite often at herself.
Dan.
Huh? Oh, Brent. Oh, hey.
Dan, wake up. You were dreaming.
Yeah, man. Oh, I was dreaming. I was dreaming that you were the creator and star of a hit TV show called Corner Gas, and that I was working at CBC hosting the weekend morning show. Isn't that hard to believe?
Yeah, that is hard to believe. There's no way the CBC would ever give you a job.
I'd like to do an impression and get your opinion on it if it's okay.
All right, sure.
All right, here we go. Anyway, here we are. It's Saskatchewan weekend. Dan Reynish is our host. Nice, and this is weird. Guy's a little askew, and
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm
nervous. It's funny. I talked to a lot of hosts over the years, and every once in a while somebody will get it and nail it pretty good. You're pretty close. That was pretty good.
Now, when you got to Esterhazy on Sunday afternoon, early Sunday evening, what was the mood like there?
You know, it's funny. We were talking about that because when I drove up, it was dark already, and it's out in the middle of nowhere, but it was really hard to find evidence of chaos going on there. Like, everything was under control. There weren't people running around. You couldn't see anything that was happening. It looked like a regular day.
The Honourable Ralph Goodale is Canada's new finance minister. At the Liberal convention in November, Mr. Martin said, if you want to be a successful finance minister, choose your prime minister well.
Yes, I remember that phrase, and I think it probably it's probably very good advice.
Is there anybody in Wilcox, Saskatchewan, your hometown, when you became the finance minister? Do you think there's still anybody there today who's going, little Ralphie Goodale is what now? You spent 8 years working on this book. At one point, it was about 2,800 pages. The final book that I have in my hands is 856 pages. What did you cut out?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Yes, you have the Cliff Notes version.
Darrell Fox is the national director of the Terry Fox Foundation. How did April 12th, 1980 become the day that we're looking back on 25 years ago and saying that's the day it all began? Why was April 12th the day that was chosen?
That's an interesting question, Dan. He had calculated just how far he planned to run, and he knew he had to start early enough to allow him time to get back home before a winter hit the prairies and BC.
one of the questions that I wanted to ask you was whether or not you actually own some of the things you can do with your voice?
Good question. No, I don't. I mean, legally, it would be a copyright infringement if I were to just go out and bandy Bart's voice around however I wanted to. Don't have a cow, man.
Premier Williams, I'd like you to meet my mother. This is Stella Reynish.
Hi, Stella. How are you? Pleasure to meet you.
In Regina, in Chicago, in Fleming, Saskatchewan.
Out and about in Saskatoon.
In Mozart, Saskatchewan, out and about in Toronto at the Hockey Hall of Fame. In Weyburn, out and about at the tunnels of Moose Jaw. In Vulcan, Alberta. This is Abbey, Saskatchewan. Zenon Park, out and about in St. John's, Newfoundland. I'm Dan Reynish.
I'm Stella Reynish, Danny's mother.
You had to think about that.
No, I didn't.
Are you sure you're my mother?
Yeah, mother always said he'd be a fine boy.
Aww.